Today, the moon continues in Virgo, practical vibe with the attention to detail that helps us bring improvements, make repairs, and perfect whatever it is we're working on. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Friday, July 17th. The moon continues through Virgo throughout the day, joining with Venus in the morning, bringing themes of beauty and aesthetic and value. And really, it makes me think about grace with the moon and Venus coming together in Virgo, just that aesthetic that we have to make things beautiful and ascendant, and how our efforts can go into just putting that extra love into what we're doing, the extra attention to detail to affirm what we value and what we find beautiful. So we've got that energy in the morning, and then as the moon continues through the day, later in the day, a little bit after 4 p.m. Pacific, we have the moon in a square with Mars. So this is a different vibe. This is a little bit of a challenge, asking us to resolve the feeling that may be there of conflict concerning the Gemini, Mars in Gemini, which can be a little bit unfocused, shall we say, can be taking us in different directions, having that movement in whatever direction our minds feel curious about in the moment, but kind of having trouble with that longer term vision and seeing the big picture and staying on track with where we want to be and what we want to do. Meanwhile, we have the moon in Virgo in a little bit of a tense relationship with that Mars, saying, but I want it to be perfect, but I want it to be this thing that I expect, and how I want things to have that feeling of being exactly the way I think they ought to be. And that requires focus, right? And Virgo wants to focus. So that Virgo moon vibe is asking us to focus about and care about what it is we're putting our attention into, and really think about the details on that deeper level of, what's really going to make something the best it can be in the long run. So whether that's cooking or a project or gardening or spreadsheets or whatever it is you are working on, it's that capacity to see, here's where it could be better, here's where it could be smoother, more efficient, here's what I want to improve, or my vision for how I think it could be. The way that with Virgo moon we can really lose ourselves in the details to see, wait, this just needs to go over here and that needs to be this way. And when we get lost in a project like that, we find that we are actually creating something really beautiful. And beauty can be simply efficiency, right? It doesn't have to be like classically beautiful in the sense of art, but it can be just something that works really well, smoothly, that feeling of flow to your day, like anything that just has that feeling of, that feels really special and important, not necessarily even important, but pleasing, something that feels pleasing to us. So whatever it is that is creating that feeling of appreciation, for something that works really well or is looking the way you want it to look, depending on what it is, or tasting the way you want it to taste if you're cooking. The moon square to Mars later in the afternoon can bring a little bit of a conflict in terms of feeling unfocused, but there's an opportunity there to simply recognize, here's where I'm being distracted, and why is this important to me? What is it that I'm trying to do? And so taking that deep breath, coming back to center, and remembering what is really important to you, giving yourself the grace and the time and space to do things in a way that is supportive to you and your own needs. That's what we are working on this moon cycle. So it's definitely about what it is you're creating and what kinds of results you're getting and how things look and feel at the end of it, but it's also how you took care of yourself in that process. And so there's an invitation here to recognize, oh, I could just slow down, recognize that I am feeling a little unfocused, for example, and give myself time to, take a break or go get a meal or something so that then I can come back to it with a little bit of a different perspective. Thank you for being here. We are in this incredible time of outer planet alignment, the outer planet alignments that we are moving through, which you can learn about in my podcast, the Astrology Heals Podcast, episode 3, and the most recent one also on Jupiter in Leo, which is, I think, episode 6, both talking about this outer planet alignment. But anyway, the point is that just to remember that we are all experiencing this and we are all moving through profound changes as we move through the process of becoming who we need to be to steer the ship of the future, whether that's our own lives, our families, or the wider world, right? There's a lot of need for healing and growth and new possibilities, and we're each invited to do this in our own way. So that is what that outer planet cradle alignment, the Barbeau's basket, some people are calling it, is really all about, is how we are opening to these bigger possibilities of who we can be and what we can pull off in terms of our dreams and our hopes and our visions for the future. So it's not easy. Today is just one day in the middle of this bigger transitional period that lasts for many years, really. But today, thinking about what is beautiful to you, where you are working on something to make it more beautiful, more valuable, more pleasing, more efficient or effective or tasty or whatever that is. And anyway, thank you for being here. And my podcast, Astrology Heals, is where you can learn more about those outer planets. We are, almost in that exact formation where it comes most exact on July 19th and 20th. So thanks for being here and following this YouTube channel, and also follow my podcast. You can listen at transformationalastrology.com or wherever you get your podcasts. I will see you next time. I'm here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.